All right, Maria, ready to roll? Yeah, you can. Just because of social distancing and everything, we'll keep you there. Okay, guys, pay attention. Current events.
So my title was keeping the beat on the brain, and this was basically talking about how our brain reacts to like if we're crossing the street, we can hear oncoming traffic, and like if we can go or not. And they experimented musicians because they think that musicians can like synchronize things better because like they have to keep the beat onto like the song they're doing. So they tested that and said it's not clear whether anyone can be like super synchronized or not. And then they also stated that 2% of the population is deaf. But their experiment didn't really tell them anything if like musicians are super synchronized.
Awesome, good job. I really like that. See how she's mixing psychology and principles of psych and maybe some different aspects of music and beats. That's great to current events. That's awesome. So you did like a study, you found a study on that. That's awesome, Maria. Good job. Good work. All right. Also with that, Beethoven. I found something interesting on Beethoven. We all know who Beethoven is, right? Yeah. So he became deaf in his later years, like he couldn't hear. Okay, he couldn't hear. So obviously, as a musician, that's a little tough to do. Obviously, you can't do your career, right? It's like, how do I play music if I can't hear what I'm playing? So he actually synchronized a point where he put a piece of metal in his mouth and connected it to the piano keys to the point where he could feel the vibrations. They call it bone transduction. So he could play music yet by feeling the vibrations of the keys hitting. Isn't that interesting? That kind of goes along well with your current event. I just think it's funny because I just read that yesterday. It's like, oh, wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength here. Really? Well, maybe I read the same thing then, not even knowing. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I thought it was interesting though. It's like, oh, how do you play instruments without hearing? I had to feel the vibrations of it, and I thought that was very interesting. All right. Is there any questions on that, guys? We'll talk about transduction when we get to sensation and perception, but that was really, really interesting, Maria. Good job. All right. Again, try to keep it towards psychology, like that. I'll leave Alex up there. She's not getting out of this, but Kinsley, you're next. Okay. Kinsley, you're next. Oh, yeah. Kinsley, and then Sarah. Uh-oh. Okay, Sarah. We'll have 3 for next week. Wait, there's no H. There is? Okay. All right. So current events are done for today. Good job, Maria. I like that. And we are going to move on to the bell ringer. So then we have all the bell ringers done for this week. I'll come around and check it. For those of you at home, please email me those bell ringers once you're finished with this one. Don't email me next week like Tuesday, okay? Please email me today with your finished bell ringers. Because obviously if we wait till next week, you're too late. You're too late. So let me put this up on the board for you. So describe 6 design principles of Gestalt psychology. So we talked about this historical approach yesterday. Okay, a little bit more in detail. All right, so describe 6 design principles of Gestalt psychology. Then we'll move on to our presentations. feel like the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, shaping this thing up, clipping off the dead ends, Right, Rooster? You're watching Cobra Kai on Netflix. I'm big into it. I like it. You ever see the Karate Kid? Okay, well, it's about that. I just now, yeah. They're both senseis. It's like a weird connection between Russo and after Cobra Kai. What's up, Timber? Yeah. Here, let me sign your pass. You say the lab. Should have a watch on. Forgot it today. This is ridiculous. There you go.
Fun.
Yeah. How's it going, TZ? Pretty good. How's football going? Good. Good. Throwing Hail Marys. 70-yarders. 95, about that. Throw them in the trash cans for that distance. Good, man. Good. All right. Do we need more time? One more minute. One more minute. All righty. You ready? Rooster, what's one of them here? Design principles of psychology, Gestalt psychology. Figure and ground. Yeah, good job. So what is figure and ground? That's a good question. Yeah, I guess so. So you remember that picture yesterday at TC? I think I asked you what it was. We saw the two faces and then the vase in the middle.
Okay. So like it was like the chair. Like you could see like the whole chair.
Yeah, that's Gestalt psychology as a whole. Okay, that's like the description of psychology as a whole. But so when we talk about figure and ground, that picture yesterday, I can pull it up real quick. Okay, I pull it up. I actually have it right here for you. So we look at the top picture here. Okay, the figure and ground, the background. Okay, obviously with this picture, it's a little tough to decide which is the background and which is the picture we want to visualize first. Okay, is it the vase or is it the two faces? And that's why this figure and ground is a good example of it, because which is the background? Is it the two faces or is it the vase? It's up to your perception. Okay, And with design principles, if you're doing graphic organization or if you're doing some sort of architecture, you would use these principles to help you, assort different types of fixtures or different types of objects within your picture you're laying out or your building that you're trying to create. All right, good. Similarity. What is similarity? So just a brief description. What is similarity, Alex? Yeah, we're just trying to group things together that look very similar, okay? That look very similar. So we're out in the football field or watching sports, okay? We try to characterize the people that look the same, okay? The team that looks the same by their uniforms, okay? That's an easy way to try to pick something out. And we try to sort this in our mind to understand, okay, it's like a matching game almost. Okay, I always like to play matching games when I was younger. Okay, when you flip the card, it's like, okay, I got to remember where that one was, the matching game. Proximity. What's proximity? What's proximity? Rebecca?
Closeness of resemblance.
Yeah, good job. So the closeness of resemblance of how we can try to group things together depending on how close they are together, right? How we try to group certain objects, or maybe it's, like I said, an architecture, or maybe it's animals walking, right? How they group together. Okay, how they are in proximity of each other. Okay, so with columns, especially when you look at a building, the columns in a building, it's pretty much in a great resemblance of proximity, right? The one's not closer to the other one than the next column. They're all spaced out in an according way, in a relationship to the point where it's in proximity of the other column. Does that make sense, guys? These windows here, you kind of see that really easily. Okay, these windows are all in proximity of each other. These three, that three. And it's a very similar aspect where these two design principles can fit in pretty well. Okay, they're in proximity of each other. Closure. What's closure? What's closure? Lily?
That your brain will fill in missing items to make it.
Yeah, good job. So let's say an item's not filled in all the way. Like if we visualize a triangle and there's already cuts into it and it's to the point where the lines aren't connected. In our minds, we understand that, hey, this is a triangle here, right? Okay. Even though the lines aren't there, that's a triangle. Even the one underneath. Even though they're not connected, these lines, we can fit it in our minds that that's supposed to be a triangle. Same with the circles. Okay. Although they're not filled in fully, we all know that those are circles. They're supposed to be circles. Even though they're missing a little bit from that line or from that object. Continuity. Continuity, what's that? Kinsley, what's continuity?
The continuation of different.
Yeah, good job. So the continuity here, obviously we want to picture this line going straight across, right? We see it as a straight line. It just makes sense in our minds that that's supposed to be a straight line. But they throw the colors in to try to throw you off, to try to intersect that continuity, to try to throw you off your mind to a point where, you know what, maybe it's not supposed to be a straight line. These red beads, these red circles are supposed to bend in a way, and that's supposed to come in our minds too with this relationship with this line, this bent curve. That's supposed to be a continuation. But since they changed it a different color, it throws you off a little bit. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, that's why I threw that image in there. Okay, good. So continuity, we're trying to make relationship to certain objects, certain items in a continuous motion. Like a road. You look at the road, yep, it's going to continue on. It's not going to do any bends really to the point where it's going to intersect or close off. And if they do, they better put signs up, right? There's a sharp turn up here. Or there's going to be a dead end. All right, order. What's order? DC asked about this. What's order? Yeah. Yeah, so with order, we need to make sense in our mind that things are organized and grouped together to a point that there's no disparities within this image. Okay, there's no discontinuation. There's no deformities in this image. These circles are all the same. Okay, they're all the same. One's not larger or smaller than the other. Okay, this order just makes sense for organization of these items in our brains and in our mind to perceive it, that these circles are all the same. And one's not larger, one's not smaller than the other one. Okay. And again, architecture uses all these principles to, use architecture to design different buildings, different forms of artwork, to make it in our minds that, you know what, that makes sense. Okay, that's supposed to be organized. Even though I go to art museums sometimes, I'm like, what is that? People are called, do you see the imagery in this? Do you see what this artist is trying to display? No, I think they just threw a bunch of paint on the wall. But hey, that's not for me. But I like to follow these design principles. I like to have order within some sort of architecture. I'm looking at artwork. Okay, whenever I'm organizing things in my office or at home, trying to find and organize these different items in something that makes sense for me. Okay, and these 6 design principles, I don't even think about it. It just happens. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Gestalt psychology, again, you're visualizing it as the what, Brewster? The whole. There you go. This is a chair, right? It has individual parts, but we see it as a chair. Okay, good. Good job. All right, presentation time. So those of you at home, okay, I want you to make a video of your presentation. You can just take the recording of your slides. You don't have to be in it. Okay, many students already in my first period class did a great job at it. And if it didn't upload for some reason, you can just put it on YouTube and share the link to me. You can just email me the link. That's fine. You can also just submit it right here. That's great. Okay, you can just submit it where the rubric is, attach it to it, along with your slides and with the rubric, so I can grade the rubric as I'm looking through your presentation. All right, that's all I got for you remote learners. Make sure you turn that in for today. Okay, if not, it is what it is. The rubric is attached onto the assignment that I posted, Casey. So you just go to, what is it? Career paths in psychology. Oh, actually, I don't have a rubric for this one. Okay. Actually, just submit the presentation along with the video. So that's fine. Don't worry about that, Casey. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. That's all I got.